Hello again, welcome back to my channel. For those following our series, my name is Eduardo. I am a Brazilian astronomy and physics teacher, and we are exploring math and physics problems from the IB curriculum. In the last video, we learned how to solve quadratic equations of the form a² x² plus bx equals 0 by the method of factorization. Now, in this video, we are going to solve a complete form of a quadratic equations. Let's start with the equation x² minus 5x plus 6 equals 0 by the same method of factorization. To factorize a complete form of a quadratic equation, we have to use the grouping method. First of all, we have to split the middle term by the sum minus 2x minus 3x plus 6 equals 0. Next, we group the terms in pairs. x² minus 2x plus minus 3x plus 6 equals 0. Then we factor out the greatest common factor in each pair. This first one, the greatest common factor is x, and then we divide each terms in this pair here by x. x² by x equals x, minus 2x divided by x equals 2, and here we can factor out minus 3 as the common greatest factor in this pair, and then minus 3x divided by minus 3 equals x, and 6 divided by minus 3 equals minus 2. Here we can see why we factor out the greatest common factor with the negative sign, because inside the parentheses we got the same factor as before in the first pair. Now we can factor out the common factor in both terms is x minus 2. So x minus 2, and then we divide each term by x minus 2. X times x minus 2 divided by x minus 2 equals 3, and minus 3 times x minus 2 divided by x minus 2 equals minus 3. So this is the factor form of the equation x² minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Now we can apply the null factor law to solve this equation. The null factor law states that when two factors, the product of two factors equals 0, the first factor x minus 2 is equal to 0, or the second factor, x minus 3, equals 0. Now we have to solve these linear equations. The first one is solved and give x equals 2. This is the first solution for the quadratic equation. And the second one is solved to give the second solution of the quadratic equation. So the solutions of the equation x² minus 5x plus 6 equals 0 is x1 equal 2 or x2 equals 3. Let's see another example. Now we want to solve the equation x² plus 21 equals 10x. Note that this equation is not in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So first of all, we have to organize this equation in this form. To do that, we have to transfer 10x to the left side of the equation. X squared minus 10x plus 21 equals 0. And then now our quadratic equation is the same form of this one. Now press pause and try to solve this equation by yourself. Okay, let's factorize this equation by the method of grouping. To do that, we have to split this middle term as a sum of two terms. Let's rewrite this equation as x squared minus 3x minus 7x plus 21 equals 0. Now group the terms in pairs. X squared minus 3x plus minus 7x plus 21 equals 0. Factor out the greatest common factor from each pair. In this first pair, the common factor is x, and then we have x times x minus 3. And in the second pair, the greatest common factor will be minus 7. And we have x minus 3 equals 0. Notice that now x minus 3 is a common factor from both terms. So we factor out x minus 3, and then we have x minus 7 equals 0. Applying the null factor law, we have that x minus 3 equals 0, which gives x1 equals 3, or we have x minus 7 equals 0, which gives x2 equals 7. So this is the second solution of the equation. Now you must be wondering, how do I know the two terms that I have to split the middle term? Here I split minus 10x as minus 3x and minus 7x. In the previous equation, I have splitted the middle term as minus 2x minus 3x. Note what they have in common. Here, the two terms that was used to split minus 5x, the coefficients of these terms multiplied together gives the constant term of the equation. Minus 2 times minus 3 equals 6. Here, minus 3 times minus 7 equals 21. So, to split the middle term, you have to find two numbers that multiply the constant term of the equation. Let's try another equation. Press pause and try to solve it by yourself. Again, before we start the factorization process, we have to organize this equation to write in the form a squared x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we can rewrite this equation as x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. Now we have to split the middle term in two numbers that multiplied the constant term. Here the constant term is 9 and the middle term is 6. So we can split it as minus 3x minus 3x plus 9 equals 0, because minus 3 multiplied by minus 3 equals 9. Now group the terms in pairs. X squared minus 3x plus minus 3x plus 9 equals 0. Factor out the greatest common factor from each pair. X times x minus 3 minus 3 times x minus 3. Notice that now x minus 3 is a common factor of both terms. So we factor out x minus 3, and then we have x minus 3 again. This means that the factorization of the x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0 is x minus 3 squared equals 0. Again, we can apply the new factor law and write x minus 3 equals 0. But since the second factor is the same of the first one, we are going to have only one solution, x equals 3. So the solution for the quadratic equation x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0 is x equals 3.